when we first met, you told me a very interesting story, which um, started my own personal journey into trying to understand about PFAS and these
Mhm,
forever chemicals. So,
mhm.
just for the benefit of people that don't know you, explain what you were doing at the time, who you were doing it for, and why.
Okay. Yeah, I will get into it. So I again, creative writing degree, and I wanted a job writing. And I finally got one as a content writer, and I had no idea what it was, but it was writing for companies on the internet and working for these two guys running an SEO agency. And so I started working with them, and probably after about three months, then they gave me my first website, my first like own company to write and handle pretty much on my own. And when he when the owner of my company told it to me, I was like, "What's the name of the company?" And he tells me, and I'm like, "Coding." I'm thinking like computer coding, like coding, not, uh, other types of codings and stuff. So probably for a day, I didn't even know what industry I was working in until I finally saw it in writing. And then I finally figured it out, and I saw it in writing. I'm like, oh, okay, Teflon coatings. So I
So
I'm
let's
like,
just be
okay,
clear: Teflon coatings
yes,
produced
Teflon
by
coating.
DuPont.
Yes, yes. And it was probably a week after I started working on that company that DuPont spun off into Chemours, if that's how it's pronounced, um, to limit their own liability. So that was a lot of fun trying to write DuPont and then realizing halfway through writing this website that it's now a new company.
So,
And
just for the benefit of timing, around about when would this have been?
it was right about 10 years ago. It was late August 2015. So
Okay.
right about 10 years ago. Um, and yeah, they spun off right like in the middle of me working on this website and stuff. So I told the owners, I said, I can research Teflon coatings all day, but I mean, unless I interview the people, I'm not going to know what to write. So I was actually able to convince them to let me interview the company I was writing for, which
Right.
was that alone was kind of a huge win. So I interviewed them, and then I started researching it and, writing it. And the first thing I found was a whole bunch of stuff talking about how Teflon, or PFAS as we call it now, I believe PTFE was the acronym that I primarily used for this company. Um, just about how awful these chemicals were. And so I'm researching and researching and, going down all these rabbit holes of, cancer and death and the people making the chemicals, the people living around the factories making these chemicals, this and that. I'm like, huh, I don't know if I should be writing about this.
Mm.
And
Right.
so I think I even brought it up to the owner of my company. I'm like, this stuff is pretty bad, right? He's like, yep, write the website. I'm like, well, yeah, of course, that's what they're paying me for. And, I didn't have any money, so
You
I
wrote
had
it.
to. So then I kept writing for that company for about a year and 3 months, four
And
months.
did you ever get a chance to go to the factory in Parkersburg in Minnesota? Is it in Minnesota? In West Virginia, isn't it?
No, no, I never went. No, I didn't go there. I wasn't working for a manufacturer. I was working for an applicator. So they basically, you have a machine shop that needs something coated in Teflon, and they would send it to the company I was writing for, and they would just, put a Teflon coating on it and ship it back, kind of
Got
thing.
it.
They most of their clients were food processing, packaging machinery, some aerospace, and then a lot of small machine shops. So, yeah.
Okay. And this Teflon coating was presumably used to repel grease and moisture for
Mhm.
various different applications. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So like food processing, a lot of hoppers and all the machinery parts that the food is touching so that, it's not going to stick to it. And then also stuff the food isn't touching. I mean, just to help the machine run and not get greased up or whatever. So anyway, so I just kept writing for it, but I had to constantly figure out new stuff to write. So then every single time I would search for new stuff and new angles to write for this website, I kept finding more and more articles about how awful Teflon is. For like a year and 3 months, I keep doing this. Finally, I left that company and I
So
had enough.
at what point did you say I can't do this anymore?
Um, that was one of multiple clients I wasn't really a fan of working for, to be honest. Um, there were others that were actually more just the people who owned the Teflon coating company, they were actually very nice people. I mean, they were
Hmm.
just a local family. I mean, they were actually nice people. Some of the other people though were not so fun.
Do
So,
you do you think they knew at that time the extent of the problems that were being caused with pollution, water contamination, food contamination, air contamination, etc.?
mhm.
Do you think they knew?
Um, you mean the owners of that company?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I mean, just for listeners, but for listeners, for people listening, to give some sort of perspective,
Mhm.
PFAS legal payouts to date come to a total of around about $14 billion, and the estimates reckon it could get to hundreds of billions of dollars. This will be bigger than tobacco, bigger than asbestos, and the major companies that are involved. I mean, I've got a list of them here. Whether we list them all or mention them all, I think the big ones we should perhaps call out are 3M, DuPont, Chemours that you mentioned, Corteva, but there are many, and some of these are household names that people will know and love, like
Mhm.
BASF, for example. And there are also some, high street brands, which I'm not going to mention on this recording, but it's is unbelievable. And so for
Mhm.
other people that don't realize that PFAS, once it's into the blood and into our bodies, it never goes, does it? It's there forever.
Mhm. Actually, I'm going to take that back and say they probably did know because by 2015, the state of Minnesota had already settled with 3M over what happened in Lake Elmo and Stillwater. I believe
Yeah.
it was Stillwater. Um,
Well, that was
Woodbury area.
that was
Woodbury.
they paid out a total. So there was a big payout in 2018 of $850 million,
Hmm.
2023 10.3 billion, and then
Yeah.
2025 450 million. So they've paid out so far just over $11 billion in claims.
Yeah.
That's just
Well,
3M.
that in Minnesota was 700 or 800 million, and that was like 2012, I believe, 2010, 2012. And so this company that I was working with, they definitely knew. I mean, they had to have known and stuff.
And
Um,
yeah, I mean, because people have died and been maimed and are being, well, let's be honest, PFAS is in just about every water system and
mhm,
soil on the planet now. It's affecting all of us. I think they say that certainly every single American has got PFAS in their body. So this is a very serious matter, and
mhm.
there's probably no end to it. So none of those people ever went to prison, did they?
Oh, no, no, it's nobody did. Just fines. Well, I mean, big fines, but nobody's ever gone to prison as far as I know.
Why do you think that is? Because people have been killed. I mean,
How many
hundreds of people, thousands of people have been killed.
how many how many bankers went to prison in the US for the mortgage crisis? How many
Yeah, but they didn't
tobacco,
kill, they didn't directly
how,
kill people.
how many tobacco executives went to prison?
Yeah.
I mean, the US has a very strong history of not jailing top executives. And even finding a scapegoat isn't, you know, looked well upon.
Yeah, but
It,
we are talking about taking people's lives here, and this is knowingly. Once you know something, I mean, when Dupont realized that they were killing their own employees and the wider community, once they realized that, they did absolutely nothing about it for years and years and years, over 20 years.
Look at I cannot remember the state, but there's a state passing a law right now that basically removes all liability from Monsanto over Roundup. That's a bill going through a U.S. state right now, multiple U.S. states, I believe. I mean, so to say why did nobody ever go to prison? I mean, politicians are actively passing laws to even remove the possibility of lawsuits, much less
So
prison
basically,
time.
we're talking massive corruption here, right?
Oh God, yeah, yeah.
Is this why you live in Taiwan?
Uh, Taiwan ain't much better. I mean, it's somebody just got nabbed for corruption yesterday. Actually, the green energy czar, the government, literally got nabbed yesterday.
So
So,
how do you think that?
is any government anywhere really all that great? I mean, there are some better than others, but
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
really. So.
I don't know. So how do you think this will play out? If you were to predict, I mean, you've got young children, haven't you? How do you think this will play out over the next 10, 20 years, the life of your children, over the next, say, 50 years? How do you think this will play out?
I think that it'll mirror the climate crisis in a lot of ways. In terms of, okay, so you have, what is it? The Netherlands right now that is saying that they're recommending not to eat eggs from backyard chickens because of PFAS contamination in the soil. Okay. So that's a problem already. Now, some places are working to clean it up. Some states in the US are passing laws, others obviously don't care as much.
Yep.
As that poisoning continues to get worse and soil degrades, just like with the climate crisis, how we will see and are seeing already, climate migrants, people leaving because of extreme weather or drought or crop failure or whatever, so too will people leave because of they might not call it contaminated soil, but contaminated soil is causing crops to not grow as well or something. And that they will eventually move to states and countries that have put more effort into cleaning it all up. Now, I believe the number is, now I don't want to say that because I'm not sure, and I don't want to put it out there. But I know that the cost to clean up PFAS worldwide every year is massive. Massive. The estimated cost for that is massive, but I don't remember the exact number, and I'm not gonna
No, it's going to be
put that out there.
hundreds of billions, possibly trillions. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
going to be huge.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do after this, I'm going to post up all of the research that I've been able to muster so far about the companies involved. I was shocked by
Hmm.
some of the companies I came across that are being implicated here. So,
Hmm.
all right. I mean, I appreciate you being so open about this really tricky subject,
Well,
Nathan.
I mean, I can explain a bit more about it. I mean, just with my own working with them and stuff. So, I mean, I eventually left that company just because I couldn't stand working with them anymore. There were tons of reasons. Working for a Teflon company was only one of them. There were a bunch of reasons.
Mm.
But also, I mean, my mom was a science teacher for 40 years. I was learning about melting, polar ice caps when I was like 8 in 1995. I mean, so I've been learning about this from a very young age and, thinking about the environment and everything. So yeah, it definitely weighed on me and stuff. And then after I left there, eventually I went freelance and slowly just started a niche into sustainability and, working with companies
The good guys.
actually trying to clean stuff up and partly in a way to make up for, you know, helping putting so much crap out there with regards to Teflon and everything. So,
I mean, it must make you personally angry, right?
no, I mean, which part? Look around. I mean, there's so many things to get angry about that you could if you let it get to you. I mean, you go, yeah, there's a lot of crap, and you start working on it. You start working on fixing it. And
Yeah,
if you just let anger get to you,
it's going to eat you up. Yep.
yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah,
it's not only is nothing fixed, but now you're angry on top of it. That doesn't
yeah.
sound like fun.
Do you know what? I do agree with that philosophy. There's only so many things that you can do in life, and what you don't want to do is become so obsessed that it eats you
Hmm.
up inside. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You should write a book about this, if you haven't done already. Anyway, look, let's move on. Let's move on to
Okay.
some more positive things, shall we?